Good evening as well as good morning unto all my fellow Israelite brothers and sisters out there in Christ. It's your host, One and Nine, again, basically touching on the subject matter concerning us as a people. Title to be called Illuminati. It's basically some information on how they came about in this great city. And I'll basically be the spirit and truth reading out loud concerning them as one of Esau's secret society, which now is really no longer anymore a secret unto those of us of Israel. At least not that those of us of Israel who are conscious. And you all pay close attention. Feel free to record this particular program blog and share it with other fellow Israelite brothers and sisters out there in Christ, and take a note to this as usual as I, spirit and truth, begin to read. The pyramid is an Illuminati symbol, a movement of free thinkers of Edom, that is, the free thinkers that were the most radical offshoot of the Enlightenment, whose followers were given the name Illuminati, but who called themselves perfectionists, was founded on May the 1st, 1776 in England, Upper Bavaria, by Jesuit taught Adam Bishop. This group is now known as the Bavarian Illuminati. While it was not legally allowed to operate, many influential, intellectual, and progressive politicians counted themselves as members, even though there were some known Freemasons in the membership. It was not considered to be endorsed by Masonry. The fact that the Illuminati did not require a belief in a supreme being made them particularly popular among atheists. This, and the fact that most members were humanists, is the reason for the widespread belief that the Illuminati wants to overthrow organized religion. Humanist. He still got all kind of words. Eternal panic over the succession of a new leader and government attempt to outlaw the group saw to it collapsing entirely in the late 1700s. Despite this, conspiracy theorists such as David Icke and Wolf Henry have argued that the Bavarian Illuminati survived possibly to this day, though very little reliable evidence can be found to support the idea that Weishaupt's group survived into the 19th century. It has even been suggested that the Skull and Bone Club is an American branch of the Illuminati. Many people believe that the Illuminati is still operating and managing the main actions of the governments of the world. It is believed that they wish to create a one world government based on humanists and atheists. Basically, those who are part of the Illuminati that many of our people see that have sold out unto the Illuminati of our own people, they are nothing but puppets, being that they are not of the bloodline, but those who are the bloodline are the ones who make up the Illuminati basically the ones who are using certain of those our people as puppets being set up by them to deceive and mislead more of the masses of our young people, because the more of our young people that they can deceive and mislead, they have misled, they can prevent any future hope for us as a people. Because as that saying goes, children are indeed the future, and they want to try to destroy our future in destroying the youth of our community. So that's why we as men and women of Israel, period, especially as men of Israel that are conscious, need to set a perfect example, and being a good example by showing them the right example of those who are on us that should come after us, that are considered the youth of the day of our community. Teach them the ropes, school them, and tell them and let them know that that they're in need of somebody, and that they don't have to conform to any man's religion or way of life, but to be one who is intellectual enough to be intelligent, to think for themselves, and if necessary need be others within our community as well. But make sure we be the type of thinkers that are able to think for ourselves as well as others if need be in our community, for the better and not for the worse. So we just found out about the Illuminati in this work so-called May the 1st, the year of 1776 AD, and that they're a bunch of free thinkers, basically of the nation of Edom, who the people we know as they're Caucasian or modern day Europeans. Those of them that are the illuminated ones or enlightened ones, those that basically want to be the only one to be considered the brains on the planet Earth, and have everybody else basically be nothing but guinea pigs of theirs, or robots that they can control, and they every aspect of life, where they won't be able to have no type of self-respect or dignity of oneself as should and ought to, and being able to think and speak and do for themselves. They don't want us to be interdependent as men at all, but dependent upon them as men, when really they are not even a man. Being mankind, kind of a man, outward appearance of a man, but inward nature of a beast. That's why they want to control all walks of life in every aspect, period, especially what concerns us as a people. And if it means dumbing down their own people to make sure that the secret don't get out about them through them and to us, they will. That shows that the devil is a deadbeat father, being the father of lies. He don't give a damn about his own children. That still doesn't exempt them from being the serpent seed, or a part of the wicked that's going to be destroyed, just because they're being even misused by their own brother's abuse of us. So, but that's why we need to distance ourselves and keep ourselves distant from them. Don't have no more to do with them, or have them having no more to do with us, more than necessarily need be. But just do what we're supposed to do in Christ, the black Christ, that is, the true Jesus, the one of the Bible, and not of some figment imagination of the so-called white man who is the devil the Bible speaks of. And I like to refer to him as Esau, because white means pure, which is God, and there's only one true God, and that God alone is of our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So with all that being said, you all, It is what it is, Israel. The spirit of truth. Shalom.